Samantha wasn't new to babysitting, but this gig, this was something else entirely. The house looked normal enough, one of those picture-perfect suburban homes with a white picket fence and a perfectly manicured lawn. The mom, dressed in a designer pantsuit and far too much perfume, ushered Samantha in quickly. "Just keep an eye on Jacob and Lily," she said hastily. "They've been a bit of a handful lately." Samantha nodded, confident that she could handle whatever handful meant in this context. She was wrong. The parents disappeared into the night, leaving Samantha alone with the kids. Jacob, the oldest at 10, stood in the middle of the living room with a blank expression. Lily, 8, was on the floor, coloring. At least, Samantha thought she was coloring, but when she looked closer, she realized Lily wasn't using crayons. She was scratching something into the hardwood floor with a small, sharp object. "Lily, honey, what are you doing?" Samantha asked cautiously. Lily looked up with wide eyes. "I'm drawing where the bodies go," she said matter-of-factly. Samantha felt her stomach drop. "Oh, that's nice," she said hesitantly. She tried to laugh it off, telling herself it was just a weird kid thing. Kids say creepy stuff all the time, right? Then there was Jacob. He just stood there staring. He didn't move, didn't blink, just stared. "So, what do you guys want to do?" Samantha asked, trying to break the tension. Jacob finally spoke. "Do you want to play dead or alive?" Samantha chuckled nervously. I think we'll stick to board games, okay?" But Jacob wasn't having it. He walked over to the old dollhouse in the corner of the room and opened the front door. Inside were dozens of dolls, all dressed in Victorian clothing. They were arranged in various states of disrepair, some missing arms, others with heads turned backward. Lily crawled over to join him. "We play dead or alive with them. You have to guess which ones are real," she whispered. Samantha's heart raced. "Real? You mean these dolls were alive once?" she asked, trying to maintain her composure. Lily nodded solemnly. "Some of them are, Mommy told us." Samantha laughed, despite the dread creeping up her spine. Right, of course she did. As the night dragged on, the kids' games became more and more disturbing. They insisted on playing buried treasure, where Samantha had to help them search the house for hidden objects. They led her to a patch of dirt in the backyard, digging up an old box with a rusty knife inside. "This is where Mommy hid it," Jacob said ominously. Samantha was done. She picked up her phone to call the parents, but just as she did, a news alert popped up on the screen. "Warning, serial killer on the loose in your area." Great. Just great. She locked all the doors, her eyes darting around nervously. The house felt different now, more oppressive, like the walls were closing in on her. Samantha decided it was time to hunker down until the parents came back. The kids were watching her with a mix of curiosity and amusement, as if they knew something she didn't. Samantha tried to lighten the mood. "Okay, how about we watch a movie? Something nice and calm? Like, I don't know, a Disney movie?" Jacob shook his head slowly. "We don't watch those anymore," Lily chimed in. "We like horror movies, the scary ones." Samantha forced a smile. "Well, maybe tonight we can try something less scary, okay?" But before she could put anything on, the power went out. The house plunged into complete darkness. Samantha froze, her heart pounding in her chest. She fumbled for her phone to use the flashlight, but her hands were shaking. Jacob and Lily remained eerily calm. "It's him," Jacob whispered. Samantha whipped around to face him. "Who?" "The man." "The man who comes at night," Jacob said cryptically. His voice was flat, devoid of fear, which made it all the more unsettling. Samantha tried to dismiss it. "It's just a power outage," she said, trying to sound confident, even though her voice was quivering. But deep down, she wasn't so sure. Suddenly, there was a loud knock at the door. Samantha's stomach twisted into a knot. She wasn't about to open that door, not with a serial killer on the loose. She grabbed the kids and hurried them into the closet under the stairs, locking the door behind them. They huddled together in the dark, and for the first time, Samantha felt a wave of genuine fear wash over her. Lily leaned in close to her ear and whispered, "Do you think the man will find us?" "Shh," Samantha replied, trying to listen for any sounds outside. Her mind was racing. Was it really the serial killer, or just some random person? The knocking had stopped, but now it was deathly silent. Then came the sound of footsteps inside the house. Samantha's breath hitched. Whoever it was, they were inside now. She cursed herself for not locking all the windows. The footsteps were slow, deliberate, like the intruder was taking their time. Samantha clutched her phone tightly, ready to dial 911, but the signal was out. Lily giggled softly. "He's looking for us. Be quiet, Lily," Samantha whispered, trying to calm her own nerves. Her mind raced through possible escape routes if she could just make it to the back door. The footsteps grew louder, and Samantha could hear the faint sound of something being dragged along the floor. Her heart was thundering in her chest. She held her breath, waiting. The door to the closet rattled softly. She squeezed the kids' hands, trying to stay calm. Suddenly, the door burst open, and a figure loomed over them. Samantha screamed, but the kids didn't react at all. In fact, they seemed almost amused. "Uncle Randy," Jacob said with a wide grin. Samantha blinked. "Wait, what?" The man standing in the doorway, wearing a scruffy jacket and holding a shovel, looked just as confused as Samantha. Hey kids," the man, Uncle Randy, said sheepishly. "Didn't mean to scare you. Just got in through the back door since I lost my key." Samantha's mind reeled. "Uncle Randy?" she repeated. "Yeah," Jacob said, beaming. "He's a serial killer, but he's our favorite uncle." Randy sighed and rubbed the back of his neck. "Look, serial killer is a bit of an exaggeration. More like a hobbyist. You know how some people collect stamps? I just happen to collect... Well, never mind." Samantha gaped at him, her brain trying to process what she was hearing. "Wait, are you seriously telling me you're the guy on the news?" Randy looked embarrassed. "Well, yeah, but it's not what it sounds like. I mean, sure, a couple of accidents here and there, but I've been real careful since then. Plus, these little rascals keep me on the straight and narrow." Samantha looked over at Jacob and Lily, who were smiling as if nothing was out of the ordinary. You knew?" she asked them. Lily nodded enthusiastically. "Uncle Randy's the best. He plays all sorts of games with us, and he's really good at hide and seek," Randy chuckled awkwardly. "Yeah, it's kind of a family secret, but hey, I wouldn't hurt a fly, not unless it's, on purpose. But not you guys. Definitely not you guys." Samantha didn't know whether to laugh, cry, or call the cops, but in the weirdest way possible, she felt a strange sense of relief. As insane as it sounded, she wasn't in danger, at least not from Randy. "So, you're not going to, kill me?" Samantha asked cautiously. Randy shook his head. "Nah, I don't do family friends. Too messy. Besides, these kids would never let me hear the end of it." Samantha sat back, trying to absorb everything. The killer was their uncle, and he was apparently part of the babysitting routine. She had walked into a house of horrors, only to find out that it was some bizarre version of normalcy for this family. As the power flickered back on, Randy grinned. "You should stay for dinner sometime. We're having meatloaf tomorrow. Well, most of it is meat." Samantha forced a smile. "I think I'll pass." As Randy left the room, Jacob and Lily looked up at Samantha. "Are you going to tell our parents?" Jacob asked. Samantha shook her head. "No, I think I've seen enough for one night." The parents returned soon after, cheerfully asking how everything went. Samantha just smiled weakly. "Oh, the usual." And with that, she left, deciding that perhaps babysitting wasn't her calling after all. But as she drove away, she couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all. A serial killer uncle, creepy kids, and a house filled with secrets. And somehow it had become just another Tuesday night in the suburbs.